What's up guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the 1750 GTV. In the last episode I started cutting out the rust on the underside of the car, mostly in the sills, and I found out there was a lot more than I thought there was. My plan was really to just repair like the bad metal that I found up in the front half of the sills and leave the outer sill just where it was, and do some patches at the back where the rust didn't seem to be too bad. But I gave that some second thought after posting the last video and thought maybe it would be best to open up the outer sills and actually see what's going on. So I swallowed the bitter pill, ordered some outer sill repair panels and the rear fender panels and all the stuff for the A-pillars inside there. So that's what I'm going to get into this evening. And another thing that's been on my mind that I wasn't quite sure how to get around to fixing was the damage in the boot. I'm going to pick up this camera and show you what I'm talking about. At some point this car has had a little bit of a ding on the, it's had a little bit of a fender bender. Something's hit it here and you can see there's a bit of damage on the outer fender. Like the boot floor here didn't take a hard hit, but it was enough to just knock the boot floor loose. So I think this is the first thing I'm going to get stuck into on this car today. I'm going to get in here and remove the floor from about here to there, which is all loose already, and it's where all the worst damage is here. So I can get this off and actually panel beat this back into shape and get all this sorted out and welded back up nice and strong. And while this is removed from here, I can get behind here with some hammers and dollies and knock out all the dents, get all the fiberglass out, patch up the little holes, and weld it all up and make sure it's 100%. Right, so I've run into a bit of trouble with this bumper mount on this side. I got the shape pretty good. I knocked out all the dents, got all the fiberglass out of it, and when I tried to weld it up, it's just so weak. It's just fatigued and stretched, and there's just no way this bumper mount was going to be right. I tried to patch it, and I got it looking pretty okay, but then I decided that I don't really want a patchwork panel on this car, so I cut that out, and I'm going to have to find a repair panel for this. So once again, another piece that I'm going to have to buy in for it. This section of the boot floor has come along quite well. I straightened it out and it's taken the shape of the boot pretty well. Once I have the repair panel and have all this repaired, I'll then weld that in, and I still need to straighten out the rest of this and get it to weld up against the fender. I've got quite a lot of work ahead of me just cleaning all this up before I can actually start welding things together. So that's what I'm going to focus on now, is just getting the underside of this thing clean so it'll be ready. Do all the little repairs. There's lots of little things, like you see these little cracks here. This is where the seat mount is, and there's cracks. I need to do some welds there, clean up a few of these welds. There are a few things that are a little bit untidy. Clean up what's left of all this underseal that's still on here. I've got a long way to go before the underside of this car is ready, so that's what I'm going to focus on for the rest of the day. Right, I've reached the end of another evening in the workshop. On this side, I've tacked the boot floor onto the fender on that side, doing my best not to just blow through the thin sheet metal. It seems to be pretty strong. This purple stuff is a rust inhibiting primer, and it reacts with the metal and it becomes this, it's like a rust proofing thing, and I'm going to use this in a lot of the seams and the spots in the car that are pretty prone to rust, like around the edges of the boot floor, on the other side of the fuel tank, in the car, in the footwell. There's a whole bunch of spots where I'm going to use this, so I'm going to leave that to just cure overnight, just on this side of the boot floor. Everywhere else in the car I've been doing a rust remover product, just going over all the sheet metal, and it passivates it, which is quite nice. So when it comes time to prime this car, I'm going to prime over this. So this metal is now being treated so it's not going to have any creeping surface rust issues once the primer goes on there. Yeah, you can see inside I've done this half of the floor pan, and I need to do the other half tomorrow evening. Well, I'm not even going to do it until I've repaired the floor. Right, so tomorrow evening I'll keep going with this. Hopefully I can get the underside of this car in primer pretty soon. Yep, I'm going to call this a night. This has been a long enough day in the workshop. Hey guys, welcome to another day in the workshop. And I'm going to be honest with you, I've been cheating on you guys a little bit. Been doing some work off camera, mostly fiddling around on the rust that was here on the radiator cross member. That's all sorted out now. Got a little bit more fiddling to do there, but it's mostly done. Patching some little holes in the floor. Yeah, just sorting out all the extra holes that were drilled in the rear valance, and just things here and there. Pulling some dents out the roof, filing stuff, patching holes in the engine bay. It's just been, general little things here and there. And yeah, still haven't gotten around to removing the sills, and that's what. Please excuse my pile of old metal and classic Alfa shipping boxes. I'm going to put this camera down on the tripod, and I'm going to get back to working on all the little things that require work. I'm going to keep chipping away at this project. It has run away a little bit. I'm kind of getting obsessed with the detail on it, which is good. It's going to be a great car when it's finished. This episode has taken quite a few days now to get together, but I'm going to do a little bit of welding up on the front end, a little bit of detail stuff here and there, and then we can get into pulling these sills off. Alright, let's get at it. So I've opened up the driver's side sill, which was the worst of the two sides. What I've decided to do is, instead of undoing all the spot welds all the way along with it all in one piece, I'm going to just cut off the main thing and then just kind of go along and get all the rest of it off, little sections by section, so I don't damage anything else. But it all looks pretty good. That middle sill is in really good shape. That looks really nice. And yeah, it's full of dirt from the media blasting process. It's going to be a long time to just go around and undo the lip that's still left on there. It's going to be like doing the spare wheel well. Just going around and pulling off what was left of the old one. Yeah, so that looks pretty good. I'm really happy with that discovery. I've actually run out of time this evening to work on this car. I've actually gotten quite a lot done in the front end and doing some stuff in the boot. But yeah, I've run out of time. It's Friday evening, and I'm actually going to go out and have dinner with some friends like a normal human being. Anyway, I'll pick this up tomorrow morning, and we can start talking about getting everything ready to do the replacement metal. So, bye. Good morning. Welcome back to the workshop. In the light of morning, this still looks pretty good, and you can actually see a little bit better up front what I've done with the rust repairs. This cross member was actually mostly solid, and I had to do a little bit of patching on it, and then I just coated it in this anti-corrosion rust converting primer, so that should stop any further corrosion happening between here and the skin that's going to go there. They are very fiddly repairs working under here, but I just don't want to undo that cross member. I don't want to pull it off of the whole car, because this construction around it is really, really intricate. Trying to get in there and undo all those spot welds and that, it's just, I'd be much happier with the original cross member with a few rust patches. And I managed to patch all the rust that was like in here. So what I did was I just cut out the rust and butt welded in a section and ground it back down with the Dremel, and now it looks pretty good. So I'm quite happy with that. And the rust here as well, same thing. So once that's dressed, it's going to be a really good repair. Anyway, I'm going to get back onto these. I'm going to get back onto these sills. This is the thing that I want to get done this morning. Most of it's already opened up. What I want to do is get in here and cut out the bottom of the fender and the sill. For now, I'm going to leave all this along here, and I'll come in here and just slowly unpick it. I'm going to unpick all these little spot welds and just peel this piece of metal up and get in there and just remove it. Do it all nice and neat. Right, so I've got most of the outer sill off, apart from just the edges that are still welded, still spot welded on. And yeah, I'm glad that I decided to go this route of taking everything off, because although this is not... Was this actually rusty in here? No, not really. Was it going to rust out pretty soon? Probably yes. Right, so there we have it. Passenger side sill, mostly off. Also left all the metal along the edge, and the middle sill is really, really clean. Yeah, the B-pillar base support's pretty good, but I'm really glad that I took this apart. There was a lot of dirt and stuff in there. Yeah, so now those sills can join the huge pile of metal and rubbish I've got here. We can move on to more interesting things. It's going to take me a fair amount of time to go through here and unpick all of this, so I'll do that before the next episode, before we can start putting stuff back together. Yeah, slowly but surely, it is getting better and better. The project creep is real, guys. Anyway, I think I'm going to wrap this up for an episode. It's been a while since I've uploaded, so I'm going to leave this as is, and we can get into replacing metal in the next episode as well, continuing with some little rust repairs. Stuff like this as well. That's got to be done. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers.